Peacemaker. What a joke.
How's it going, folks? It's Lobo, and thank you so much for joining me today for Peacemaker. Now, it goes without saying, and this includes all my reactions, I have never seen this before. This is going to be my first time watching, and I do know I'm a few years late with this, so I understand if you're a little skeptical, like, how have you not seen this? But rest assured, I have not, and anything I got spoiled to, because I have seen a few things. Before we jump into the reaction, I will list everything I got spoiled by or know about so you understand, because again, it has been a few years, and also, this is now DCU canon, kinda, halfway, because there's season 2 coming out this summer after Superman, and how season 1 fits in remains to be seen, but I'm going to discuss that, as well as the other things that I might have seen and have definitely seen. So I hate to break it to you, but I am very much aware that Justice League shows up at the end. I know about that because the day Peacemaker went, I think it's 8 episodes, the day the finale aired, that is all anyone talked about, is the Justice League showing up, because it was such a big deal for the Justice League to be in a spinoff show for a no-name nobody called Peacemaker. Not only that, you had 2 of the original cast members in Ezra Miller and Jason Momoa, and then I think the rest were just a cutout, or, well, it was actors, Superman and Wonder Woman, and of course, my guy, Batman, was not there because Warner Bros. Hates putting Batman in TV series. Look at the Penguin. I know that there are pre-lying circumstances, but tell me I'm wrong. And don't say Gotham. Like, this guy never shows up in anything. Titans, like, to get this man in a suit. Hopefully James Gunn can correct us in the future. They just hate having Batman in a freaking DC show. Just do it already. Jesus Christ. But staying calm here, yes, I knew about that, but I also know now that apparently James Gunn cleared the air and said that is the only thing from this season that is not canon moving forward, for obvious reasons, because that whole Justice League cast has been gutted. Nobody from there is remaining in the new DCU. We already know that. So how they retcon that in the next season, I'm just not going to try to speculate at this point, because there are also some other things to consider. Because I've also seen Creature Commandos, which is a kind of spin-off of the Suicide Squad, which is directly linked to Peacemaker. So these all go hand in hand. All written and directed by James Gunn. So I have seen a few things that I can remember, because I honestly don't remember how long ago Creature Commandos was. It wasn't my favorite. I think of James Gunn's superhero movie work. Well, project would be the more accurate term, because it was a show and Peacemaker is a show. Creature Commandos was my least favorite. I think it was his weakest work, which might be a hot take for some of you, but I didn't enjoy Creature Commandos as much as I wished. It had some really strong points, and I enjoyed a lot of it, but then towards the end, the final 2 episodes, it really kind of lost me, especially with the finale. I feel like it didn't quite stick the landing. And I know they're working on season 2, which I'm like, happy for those that are really want it, but it's not something for me that I'm just gonna go out of my way to see. And speaking on Creature Commandos, the kind of few things that I know that would spoil Peacemaker are, there's the dude with glasses and the beard, and I think his name is Economos. I think, don't hate me if I get that wrong. I think he majored in economy in college. It is a very strange name. I've never heard it before. And then the other thing is, it has something to do with Amanda Waller and her daughter, which I didn't know she had a daughter. And again, this is just pulling from my memory from whenever those specific segments aired. And then I'm like, oh, because truthfully, it wasn't the episodes themselves. It was just me scouring through the fandom on Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube, just going through the DC forums and seeing people talk, and then people were referencing that, oh, this happened in Peacemaker, it's cool to see that tie-in, and as me, a viewer who's never seen it, I was like, oh shit, it's kind of a spoiler. So that's everything I got spoiled by, and as for the character himself and just my thoughts and what I know about the character before jumping into the series, I will say that last week I rewatched The Suicide Squad. I think it was my 5th or 6th time watching it. I like it. I think it's a fun film. I think it's a solid DC movie, especially for rated R, and I think it's infinitely better than the, I think it's the 2016 version of just Suicide Squad, with that abomination of Jared Leto's Joker. So I do believe I'm freshly caught up on the sort of events that go on and how Peacemaker is where he is. And I know we deal with sort of a core crux of characters that hail from Belle Reve, which is Amanda Waller's like circle, Economos, and then I think her name is Harcourt, the blonde lady who was also James Gunn's wife, and I think she was also in Black Adam, which I haven't seen in a long time, so I'm just pulling from my memory here. And I know this all stems from when he tried to kill Ratcatcher 2, and that Bloodsport had the tinier bullet that went in, shot him in the neck, he somehow survived, and now they need him to save the world, whatever that means. And it probably has some valid claims, because apparently the Justice League shows up at the end, so that might have some merit to it. Of how this small time, is he a vigilante? A mercenary, that's the more appropriate term, deals with the big enough threat that needs the Justice League. And just in general, I love James Gunn. I love his work. I'm so excited for Superman and just the new DCU. So I'm very excited about the series, especially with the promise that it's going to become DCU canon. And just touching up on that before we jump in, I think I have an idea of how this is going to work. So pretty much the general rule of thumb, like how it happened in Creature Commandos, unless it's directly referenced in dialogue or newspaper or whatever, unless you can clearly see that it's referencing a specific person, event, time, whatever you want to say, it is not canon until it is. So like the thing with Project Starfish, we're like, oh shit, okay, so the Suicide Squad is canon, that happened. But the thing is, the details might change a little. So the way I'm interpreting that is everything could have happened in what the hell was that place called? Oh, I'm completely drawing a blank. I can't remember the name of the place they were. I think it was in South America. That's where they had Jotunheim and obviously Starro the Conqueror. But just going from there, I think something in the DCU could have happened very similar, where it was in that specific location. They were dealing with Starro the Conqueror. But perhaps the team members were different. Perhaps the actors were different. So, for example, I don't think Margot Robbie is going to reprise her role as Harley Quinn. So that would kind of throw a wrench in the whole idea of the Suicide Squad being 100% canon, especially if any of those actors do a different character. But it could be like it was a recast version. So when you put them neck and neck, it's the same event, but just those finer details like casting and perhaps the way it looks are different, but the plot remains the same. Very much how the same where it's like, obviously DCU Batman, his parents were killed and he dresses like a bat. It's like those details remain the same, but the actor and sort of the storyline in between is different. It could be something like that, maybe not, I don't know, but that's the way I'm sort of coping with it. If it was up to me, I would have just completely got rid of everything and not fired people, but have been politely like, you're done, we need to start completely fresh. There should be zero audience confusion because Peacemaker and the other sort of around 2020 films were like 1.5 DC movies, meaning they weren't quite the Snyderverse, but they were built off of them. And some of them are in between the 2.0, which I'm saying is like the DCU. So they're a weird in between. Obviously, James Gunn is plucking the stuff that he wrote and the actors he's worked with for the new DCU, which I'm not going to blame him for. I understand you want to keep working with the same people and especially continue the projects that you've already had in motion with Peacemaker Season 2 and then Creature Commandos. So one more time, I think the general rule of thumb going forward for the DCU is if it's named in canon, then it is canon. And certain events could have happened, but the people in those events could have been different or could have been played by different actors in real life. And I think that's just how it's going to work. And I'm going to go more in depth into it once we get to the finale. And then I'll sort of like deep dive of like, how are they going to explain the Justice League? How are they going to retcon this or explain this? Was Peacemaker crazy the whole time? It would have been a little bit easier if we had like a truly insane character like Polka Dot Man or Marvel side Deadpool, where it was just like it's all in his head. The way he's perceiving reality is not what it really looks like or whatever. Some bullshit excuse that they would have to do to make it make sense. It could just be like, here's an alternate universe Peacemaker that had exact similar events to season 1 as this version of Peacemaker, but the actors and the way wherever looked was completely different, and the Justice League never showed up. It could be that. It could be a different Earth Peacemaker. I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff at the wall at this point, but I've spoken long enough, so we're going to get started here. And one final thing before we jump in, I promise. My Daredevil reactions have resumed after 2 years. I did my latest one yesterday. That is in the description down below, along with my reaction to the Penguin series in its entirety. And I can also say that next week, I'm going to be starting up my movie reactions again. The first movie is Blade Runner 2049, which I'm thrilled to be reacting to. And again, that's going to be happening next week. But the schedule is going to be Wednesday, Daredevil, Thursday, Peacemaker, Friday, a movie reaction, which will alternate between a random movie that I've chosen and X-Men movies, which I have not seen, and that will cap off with Deadpool and Wolverine. So again, that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, with edits sprinkled here and there in between. Now, with all that out of the way, this is Peacemaker Episode 1. Oh. Getting a recap.
This is your last motherfucking warning!
She is so good as Amanda Waller.
Can you maybe up the contrast on the X-ray a little more to show the definition of my muscles?
It's not for your Tinder profile, Chris.
Who's she talking to? I can't see anyone. That's the only time I'll do that joke, I promise.
As long as you agree to keep up with the physical therapy, I'm discharging you.
So I can leave?
Go home. Enjoy life.
I don't have any weed on me, man. That was a
It's not
one-time
that
thing.
then. Dude, can I trust you?
No.
No.
I don't know you, man.
We smoked weed together, man. I was in a fucking wheelchair.
I can't pretend like that wasn't a nice moment, but that doesn't make me trustworthy.
Truth is, I'm supposed to be in prison.
For what?
Superhero shit.
Oh, it's just his ass is hanging out.
Aquaman, he's famous.
Fuck Aquaman.
No, man.
He starts fucking fish. That's taking it a step too far.
Aquaman fucks fish?
Yeah.
We'll talk about this after the episode.
Oh, Peacemaker!
Yes.
You're that racist superhero!
I will trust white people less in the future and kill a higher percentage of them. Are you satisfied?
Yes.
Yes. I'm usually not a fan of the sort of minimalist suits that they do, like the very classic comic suits, which might be a hot take, but I really liked his suit. I think they did a great job on it. Also, it helps that it's John Cena wearing it, and he just completely fills it in. Mr. Mern.
Yes!
Oh shit, he has an intro. What the hell? A Broadway dance intro. That's the High Evolutionary. I know about that. He's a great actor. He was so good in Guardians 3. And then I think the guy with the red visor, his name is Vigilante. He's a vigilante named Vigilante. And there's his dad. What a strange show.
The strawberries, it might be dangerous or...
They got me filing papers and making reservations. It's just for now. I know that I'm not made for this shit. I'll save up a little and we'll go back home. I gotta go.
Well, I think that might have been a code. They're monitoring him. Oh, God.
Yeah.
American Trailer House.
And this, it's Corto Maltese money. I have no idea how much it is.
Corto Maltese, that's the name.
What's in the bag?
Oh, shit. I'm surprised he didn't just kill him. Or maybe he has his own rule. He didn't threaten liberty or whatever. So does he live with his dad or just by himself?
Yo, man, it's Vigilante. What up? I was wondering if you wanted to go out on a team-up tonight. P, it's V. Are you watching this game, dude? Called you P and me V, as if you were a penis and I was a vagina. That definitely was not my intent.
It's like that American Dad episode when Roger tries to get Steve to go to his gym.
Just grab you the protein power blend, meet you up at the gym in about 15. We'll get the sign up out of the way.
Stay where you are, Smith.
Fuck, I knew it was fucking too good to be true. I'm good. I'm good. Fuck!
I'm giving you the chance to stay out of prison and work for me. Name's Mern.
Clemson
Mern.
That's right. I report directly to Amanda Waller.
Hey, dude, you're eating 4-year-old olives out of my fucking fridge.
Domestic situation, known as Project Butterfly.
As I recall, you guys aren't particularly creative with case file names. So what am I, fighting a Mothra now? I am. Can I get a jetpack?
No.
How the fuck am I supposed to fight a Mothra without a jetpack?
It's not a Mothra.
Kill people.
Bad people.
Whom we call Butterfly.
What's to keep me from splitting?
Still have that bomb in your head to track you with, and if that fails...
Oh, yeah.
Who's Eagle?
Don't you do your research? He's my sidekick.
He named his eagle Eagly. I wonder if it's a... I don't think it's a talking eagle. I think it's just a pet eagle.
Got out of prison.
You don't say.
Yeah, it's been a kind of rough go for me lately, Dad. I was laid out in the hospital for like 5 months.
Damn, 5 months.
Somebody shot me, a building fell on me.
You let somebody shoot you?
It's not like I invited him to come shoot me, Dad.
So then his dad trained him, right? If I'm remembering correctly.
My fault now you fucked up and went to prison.
That's not what I'm saying.
Then what are you saying?
It's my service. I got no money.
Jesus Christ, you're a fucking pussy.
Eagle.
Who's a good boy? Yeah. Who's daddy's boy?
Oh, he hugs him.
He's hugging me.
What the hell?
He's hugging me.
This is the only desk with sun. Take the one in the middle.
Setting up base in an abandoned store.
What agency did you get transferred from?
Fucking you how?
We helped Task Force Action. This is her way of getting back at us.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Well, she's entitled to her opinion.
Thank you.
Her stupid fucking opinion.
You get a kick out of this, Dad. Guy I was working with, blood sport, big, tough motherfucker, mercenary, all these weapons and shit. We find out he's got a rat phobia. And not just any phobia, I mean like pure terror. And Dad, you know how he got the phobia?
Of course I don't fucking know how he got it.
His own father tortured him by locking him in a crate for 24 hours with nothing but starving rats.
What the fuck?
Horrible acne scars. Guys, but they hurt. Oh, I'll get one.
What a strange family.
This bag that was afraid of the rats.
Yeah.
Please, God, don't tell me he was the one who shot you.
Yeah.
How did my fucking sperm go into a Nancy boy like you?
What the hell? He has a secret base? What the?
This has sonic blast capabilities. You need to breathe underwater, then this is the one for you.
That's some pretty crazy tech.
I hesitate giving you any helmet. As big a simp as you turned out to be. If you can do some good with it, maybe take out a couple of commies, some blacks, some papers.
That's not my thing. I do what I do to stop criminals, not a specific.
Yeah, sure.
That's some pretty crazy tech for lowly Merc. So was his father the original Peacemaker? Peacemaker?
Did this dipshit really show up in full cosplay mode?
Is that an eagle in his back seat?
And he's driving the car. His tech reminded me of like a futuristic 80s vibe. Same thing with the intro. I mean, that's James Gunn classic style. He loves that sort of aesthetic.
Why is there a bald eagle in your car?
It's Eagle.
Eagly is your pet eagle.
Yeah.
Do you have a daughter named Daughtery?
Jealous of a guy's pet eagle much? Hey, Sweet Cheeks. Can you take my order real quick?
Hi.
Sorry.
Sweet cheeks. Seriously, dude.
She had cherubic cheeks. It's a compliment.
Sweet Cheeks is your butt.
No, it's not.
It's like calling somebody, I don't know, sugar tits.
It's totally inappropriate. Tits are way too big to be sugar tits.
Why is that busboy staring at you?
Think that's my friend Chase's younger brother? U.S. Senator? Don't look at it here. Take my word for it.
Oh my God, could you at least take your helmet off? You're gonna get dressing all over.
I'm a dressing getting off contest right now, Diebeard?
Okay, I don't dye my beard. I've always had unusually colored hair.
Yeah, they even draw it in animation with the different colors.
Fuck yeah, Peacemaker's back, baby.
Twerk it and twerk it.
So this is Vigilante.
That's my famous. Oh, hey man, what's up? I just found out this girl that I'm seeing, she's pregnant. You know. Yeah.
Why are you always trying to get me to set you up with my cousin then?
Well, I wouldn't say like girlfriend.
You're happy she's pregnant?
Yeah, because we are going to have an abortion. Hey, you're invited if you want.
I don't want to come to your abortion. No.
That's cool.
People that lie out of embarrassment, you need to at least make it more believable.
What do you mean when you said you heard stories about Mr. Murray?
I know he's a mercenary. I know he killed a lot of people, not always for the right side. I know I don't trust his ass.
Well, good night, Smith.
Night, Ever Small.
Adebayo.
Adebayo.
Although I do appreciate the confidence with which you said something so wrong.
Oh, that's my thing. That and having a big dick.
Yep, information I had no need for.
Yeah, you can see that very clearly in the tidy whities. Birds have tongues? Is this the first time I'm finding that out? Or is that just like, because it's a fictional bird? Birds really have tongues? What the fuck?
The Goldilocks. Can I ask you a question?
As long as it's a question about how to cure rotting fish breath, sure.
Fuck you, bitch.
Crazy coincidence, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, uncanny.
Right? Thank you. So your first name?
Why?
You know, you don't have to call me Peacemaker. You can call me Chris.
I'll call you Peacemaker, you call me Harcourt. How's that?
Just trying to say it doesn't always have to be about work.
Hold on.
Okay.
My friend,
Did she fight? Probably. Yeah.
Hey, what was that next word, you ugly fucking what?
I know where this is going.
That's so fucking hot.
Starstruck.
I have no interest in you other than your ability to fight for us. Just because you're handsome doesn't mean you're not a piece of shit murderer.
Think I'm handsome?
Please fuck off. You know what? Fuck yourself. Chris.
I ain't gonna blame her. Okay, well, I'm not gonna put this on the reaction.
John seems okay.
He's pliable.
Harcourt is hard.
Barbie's ambitious. Watch out for her.
Shouldn't we just loop them in on the whole plan?
No.
Is this her daughter?
This goofy shit? Yeah.
Wayne Foundation.
How's Peacemaker?
Yeah, he's his own thing. Sexist.
Yeah.
Probably racist.
Oh, you know who his father is?
Oh, yeah. But there's something else about him that's...
So they know about his dad.
sad.
Empathy. In this business, Leota, that will get you killed.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm not like these people.
Have an early morning. Night, baby girl.
Night, Mom.
That's so weird.
Well, they're still trying to pull you in, huh?
Always.
Is this a comic thing? Because anytime I've ever seen Amanda Waller in anything, I've never known her to have a daughter.
Oh, this is my jam. You know, this is back when men were real men, because they weren't afraid to be women. None of this.
I don't know, but I think it might be time to leave. He's just looking to have a conversation.
Went to see her just this morning.
He's got an insane body. I mean that in the straightest way possible. Like, god damn.
She sat there, smoking on my...
Hey, I gotta thank you for tonight. I was having a crazy fucked up day, but when I was in your pussy back there...
So I went.
That is not a microphone, sir. What the fuck? She just fed up, or is she an assassin that was just playing him? Oh. Yeah, okay, she's good. This was definitely a hit. Did you growl? Is she one of the butterflies? Probably. Oh yeah, for sure. Ugh. Use that John Cena strength. Okay. I did not expect him to jump out the window. I thought he was going for the knife. This kind of reminds me of like the show reminds me of a horny Stranger Things with the superhero. I mean, you could tell James Gunn wrote it because he's got his signature kind of wackiness with the comic book stuff. Oh, he's gonna use the helmet.
Activate sonic boom.
What? I did not expect it to do that. And he totaled his car in the process. How did he get all that tech, though? If it was inherited from his father and they were just mercenaries, like, that's pretty crazy. I know I'm watching a comic book show, but still, like, that's like Black Panther tech.
Thanks, CP.
Okay, so that's Peacemaker episode 1, about what I would expect from James Gunn, delivering on that classic comic wackiness that he always does. And I'm enjoying it so far, and we got some clarity on the whole Peacemaker situation, because I had a few questions about him and about his like comic counterpart. But before we get into that, I did mention during the reaction, the segment in the hospital when they were talking about Aquaman and the fish scenario, I said I would touch up on that later, and that's what I'm going to do now. So now, as I mentioned before my reaction, I said I saw the spoiled scene of Justice League showing up at the end because everyone knew about that. Everybody talked about it. It was inescapable. I'm sorry. So there's nothing I can do about it. I'm not going to fake a reaction. I'm never going to do that on my channel. So with that specifically, there were some people mad because Jason Momoa's Aquaman said he was so sick of that rumor about him having sex with a fish. And some people took offense to that because they were like, look what they've reduced Aquaman to. Badass Jason Momoa Aquaman. And what I just want to say on that matter is I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't think people need to take that too seriously like it's a jab and they're reducing his character. It's simply a joke from another character. And it's kind of a reasonable assumption considering all things, but also you have to think it's a character like Peacemaker saying it. So I have no problem with it. I think it's funny and it is in character for Peacemaker to make such a joke. So I don't understand why everybody was so upset about it. And now for Peacemaker himself, we got a bit of, I wouldn't say clarity or, see, the whole thing with me was what I was wondering because I'm unfamiliar with the character until this is how a lot of these things do, especially with James Gunn, because he loves doing underrated characters and then bringing them to light. And that's a lot of people's first sort of exposure to the character, which is the case for me for 90% of the people that he did, especially with Guardians when that originally aired. Never heard of them, never seen them. Same thing with Peacemaker. Never heard of him, never seen him before. So I was always under the assumption that, well, obviously, he's a supervillain. He's in Belle Reve. He was in there for 4 years. He's a mercenary that kills people across the globe, so I get that he's a supervillain. He thinks of himself as a superhero. I always just kind of disassociate supervillains and mercenaries for some reason. Like, Deathstroke's a supervillain, but he's also a mercenary. And I don't know why, but I understand. I still think of him as a supervillain, and certainly Hardcore thinks as well during that whole bar scene. And as I pointed out, I'm not going to disagree with her because not only did he kill Rick Flag for the sake of liberty, but the whole quotes of, I don't care how many men, women, and children I need to kill for the sake of peace, like, that's some psycho shit to say. Like, I get the sense that they might be going for the sort of redemption arc of changing your ways and becoming better, and he's going to change his philosophy of not killing innocence and thinking about a different way for liberty and sacrifice and all that. I get that they're going to do that, but this is a pretty hard road to do when you're at some point willing to or might possibly already kill children for said sake of liberty, which I think is just ridiculous because you just can't say shit like that and move on. I understand it's supposed to be a funny joke, but I'm like, that's crazy. When you really think about what this dude is saying, that's fucking nuts. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, he just made a mistake. It's like a deleted tweet. It never happened. It was in the past. It was 10 years ago. I'm a different person now. Like, that's a crazy thing to say. But some of it you can see came obviously from his father, the T-1000 himself, which I knew was playing his dad, which I was very excited to see because I love him. So they definitely leaned into that kind of, I don't think redneck's appropriate, but that more Southern lifestyle, hard father, kind of racist. And some of that is picked up by his son. I don't think the racism part, but the association of his father and his whole real display of patriotism definitely comes with baggage and people thinking like he's sexist, he's racist. But those little nuances John Cena gives in his performance where he looks disappointed and annoyed that people regard him that way, I like that. Obviously that could just be in the script, but bringing that to life, those small little moments that you can notice on camera, well, when you're watching, I like those details because it shows his character. It's on that sort of redemption arc that I mentioned earlier. He doesn't want to be known for that because that's not who he is at heart. It's just the poor situation of the parent leading their kid off the good path, so to speak. I mean, it's a common thing that we've seen in storytelling, but so applicable to real life, because where do all these negative things come from? Because we know hateful ideologies and racism, those sort of things are inherited from your teachings that you have as a children when you're young and impressionable, and a lot of that is coming from the parent, and it's just an endless cycle of negativity that's spread on generation after generation after generation. And sometimes you do get a decent kid that could have turned out a whole hell of a lot better if they had better parenting, better guidance. It's just a classic thing in and out of real life. So seeing that here in a more sort of comedic tone balanced superhero flick, well, show is quite interesting. And I can't wait to see if that is gonna evolve in any way. Same thing with his father, if there's gonna be any bit of reconciliation between him and Peacemaker and just his father's sort of outlook on certain individuals as well. Is there going to be any growth there? I would imagine for Peacemaker, but hopefully that extends to his father, because I don't think it's ever truly too late to change, but you got to do it at some point. And speaking more on their relationship, I thought it was very awkward but funny, the whole when he was telling him about Bloodsport being locked in a cage with rats, and then he just started dying laughing. At first, I'm like, he's fake laughing to be like, shut up, son, or something. But he was genuinely thought that was funny. I'm like, that is so awkward and weird that he finds that hilarious. And it just kind of shows you that perhaps similar things occurred to him doing to his son. And I just don't understand why. And it's weird because I try to say this from my point of view, but it's something that I just literally brought up with the endless cycle. Is what I'm wondering is, why does he still have a relationship with his father despite how their relationship seems, and no doubt how it was in the past when he was a kid? It's like the people with abusers. It's like, why do you stay in a relationship with them besides manipulation and that feeling of fear? Because certainly in this case, John Cena's character, Peacemaker Chris, he's definitely capable of moving on and defending himself, but he's still, that's the hard thing. It's because it's your parent, for God's sake. Like, he's trying to have a relationship with them, so it's sad, but just something I'm hoping for is that they can patch it up and build something new. This is a very therapeutic post-reaction discussion. Jesus Christ. It might not be that deep, but that's just how I am as a person. I'm always trying to look for the goodness in people and being like, you can come back. But looking at the logistics of the father, I'm guessing that he was, I don't know if he was the original Peacemaker, if he called himself that, but he was certainly a mercenary that taught his son everything and has all this equipment. From where he got it, I have no idea. This is one of those aspects where it's the classic James Gunn embracing full-on comic book. We're not doing some grounded, it has to be a realistic technology. I don't know what the hell that was. That was like interdimensional kind of Tron Matrix looking sci-fi, real sci-fi shit. Even at the end when he put on the Sonic Boom helmet, it was like Black Panther tech on steroids. The way it just, all that energy, it covered him in a shield. And it blew up. Well, it didn't blow up. It jellified that lady that was somewhat indestructible almost, because I would imagine that she's one of those butterflies. But that's a little too much for just some random mercenary, like Jesus Christ. But speaking of the butterflies, I wonder how that's gonna go, because we had Project Starfish, now we have Project Butterfly, and as Mr. Mern, which is kind of easy to remember because it's just Burn without an M. Well, without a B, excuse me, with an M. He said that it's not a Mothra, it's not another giant creature, but it has to do with I don't think he gave him any more details other than that, other than Peacemaker is going to be doing sort of hits on targets, killing people again. But I think the butterfly was that lady. I think it might be something like when we think about Arkham Asylum, when they were doing the Titan formula, when they were trying to create more Banes and it was used as a drug and as a weapon. That could be something like that. Same thing with the... I can't remember the glowy stuff in Iron Man 3 when people were orange and they ingested and then they became super strong, super durable, flame resistant. Was it I think it starts something with a T, but I cannot remember. Extremis, right? Is that what it is? Maybe. Potentially. I'm going to be so excited if that's what it is, but I think it was Extremis. That glowy orange stuff, so maybe it's a similar case, and he just has to eliminate the supplier or the origin of wherever it comes from. But knowing the spoiler that I know, there was certainly some credence to whatever is going on, that the Justice League showed up at the very end after it was all said and done. So I don't know how that's going to go. And then just wrapping up here, I would say something that I know I'm going to thoroughly love throughout this show is Vigilante, because the small glimpse we got of his character, that awkward humor nature, just... It was good. Whoever that actor is, he has a great presence for it. And I can tell throughout the show that he's going to be one of, if not my favorite. That whole bit talking about the abortion and just being that embarrassed lie. And it's like, why would you go to this? If you're going to lie, why would you say that? That was funny. That was really funny. So I appreciate Vigilante, and I can't wait to see more of him, and especially his enthusiasm for Peacemaker being back. Let's see them go on if we get one episode where they team up like he wants to, and they go on a buddy mission throughout the whole episode, that's going to be the best episode of the series, no doubt. So just one final thing to say before wrapping up here. As you remember, yesterday was my Daredevil reaction. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's in the description if you want to check that out. But today was Thursday, and that was my Peacemaker reaction. So that's going to be the formula every week. So come by my channel on Wednesdays for Daredevil, Thursdays for Peacemaker, and then starting next week on Fridays for a movie reaction. I mentioned this earlier, as well as in my Daredevil reaction. That first movie is going to be Blade Runner 2049, alternating week to week with random movies and the X-Men movies, which I have not seen, and that will finish with Deadpool and Wolverine before we get into another mega movie series that I have not seen yet, and I'm not going to spoil what that is until I actually do it and we're at the point where I can move on. I appreciate all of you guys watching up to this point, so have a great rest of your day, rest well, and until the next.